Okay. I appear to be dreaming. Nice. Me send out a few notifications. Oh, there's one. There's two. That's kind of all I care about. We pull up my dashboard. Okay, good. But we'll keep this up to the side. Alright, here's what I have planned. And this is a plan I've thought through. Like halfway. Basically on the car ride home. I decided to actually write down all the stuff I want to talk about because usually I get sidetracked and distracted. But today, I wrote them down. Not that it'll make it much more coherent when I speak. And yes, the title will be explained. Both of those are on the list. In the order that they are written in the title. Oh, my electric payments due soon. That's cool. Okay. Before I get to any of that, I want to show you a little bit about what I've been doing in the game. Because I think some of this is pretty cool. I didn't really know you could do a whole lot of this. Because, like, I've played the base game. I've not played any of this. So what have I got going? Currently I'm working on the refinery setup. Just because stuff downstream was getting blocked up, taking too long, running out. So I wanted to keep a constant stream of refined minerals going to the actual, like, smeltery. Right, and a byproduct of this is this dirty water stuff, which I can actually translate back into more materials to process and keep the cycle going to a point. I've also got a stone collection here. I'm going to do something with this eventually. Oh, my cat would very much like to be a part of this, but he can't speak English. And like I've stated before, he's dumb. Buddy, you're distracting me. Oh, now he's biting my wrist. Okay, let's move on to what else I've been doing. Electric furnaces are a new thing. Not like in the world, but a thing that exists here in the refinery now. I'll switch all of these over to electric. Eventually. But I don't care to right now. And we're making a pretty steady stream of iron. The reason that I am going with the refined iron ore is because it costs less. It costs 5 instead of 20. And you can turn iron ore into more refined ore than iron ore on its own. So it's just compoundingly more efficient. That's all I've taken care of down there. Up here, I've worked a little bit on getting stuff ready for mass electronic furnace production. Just all sorts of stuff. I'm working on processing all of the core materials. You see, we've got this very cool pattern showing off the probability of this whole thing, which is very cool. We're making a new material called Pyroflux, and I have no clue what you use it for. And we've got to process all of this into the raw materials for later. I am also working on making a bunch of these reinforced plates, but it looks like I'm out of iron somewhere. It might be that this whole setup is out of iron ore. I'll care about that one day. I think for now I just don't care. Iron is not very readily available on this planet, so I might actually pipe the core material stuff back up to here and just kind of call it good. Okay, let's move on. We're still in blue science with military science put in. So we have the white military science packs and the blue advanced science packs, which are pretty cool. I've got construction and logistics robots basically everywhere. They refuel me on a few things. They bring me some materials I might use. Pretty basic stuff. I've also got bots that will bring me all of the inserters that I need, which is nice. I've got all that automated up here. Just enough for, you know, a mall, right? We'll only ever really need this many fast inserters, so pretty good. Oh, my cat has returned. Hello, cat. I have now paid the cat tax, and he's still trying to bite my wrists. I don't know if that means he wants to kill me or just play. And I don't know if he knows there's a difference. Oh. He has knocked something off the counter. This cat is an actual bonehead. Anyway, we'll be fine. And I think that's all I have to show off. I'm going to decide on a goal for what I'm going to do right now. And I actually think it's going to be setting up that iron. He's making a sound like he's dying. He's not. He just really wants to play. I know, I can tell a difference. What's up with this? Oh, I never finished this one. There we go. Okay, and I need a stack filter inserter to pull this out of here. Okay. Where are these gonna go? I could go up there and around. Or I could go up through the lake. Up through the lake might be the faster option. Okay, what is first on the list? Okay. So, I was recently recommended a video on YouTube that I'd not seen for a while, and I remembered that I love it. It is the live recording of Galactic Funk by Cassiopeia. Yep, there's my cat again. Ow. He really did bite me in the wrist that time. He's really upset about something. Okay, actually, let's take a quick break so I can go manage this, because it is, it's getting a little annoying having him just attacking me. there was nothing wrong with the cat. He just wanted to attack me. I think he wants attention. When I say this cat is an idiot and will get distracted by the ceiling, I'm not joking with you. He is slightly smarter than a mollusk, and those don't have brains, which is expected. Anyway. Yep, Cassiopeia's Galactic Funk. I can't play it because DMCA, but if there's any part of you that enjoys jazz fusion music or excellent keyboard solos, go right now, turn this off. I know it's not something I should be telling you to do. Turn this off right now and go to YouTube and please watch the full performance. It is... I actually forget. I'm gonna look it up. I'll find you the exact video. So here's the deal with this. This is not Cassiopeia's footage of the event. It is reposted by someone called M. Luminox. The title is Cassiopeia, as in the constellation, dash Galactic Funk. The keyboard solo is some of the silliest, most entertaining, highest quality music I've ever seen from a live performance. It is astoundingly good. Now, I didn't realize this, and I'm actually going to look up his name because I am bad at pronunciation and even worse at remembering names. Minoru Mukaya. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. He is, according to the internet, which you can't trust, but who cares, is one of the most played musicians in the world. He's not only a killer pianist for Cassiopeia, but he's also written 11 jingles for trains in Japan. Now, if you don't know, if you're an American like me, trains are a big thing in Japan. A lot of people ride them every day. And they don't really need frequent new jingles, so the fact that he's done 11 of them is pretty impressive. But this means that people are listening to his music every day, probably without even knowing it. He is hands down one of the best keyboardists on the planet, probably one of the best jazz fusion musicians ever to walk the face of the earth. It is astounding. It is also the greatest keyboard solo of all time, and it's not really something you can dispute. It's just a fact of the universe, right? It's like physics. And I really want you to go look at it. Now, that isn't their video, so watch that. See them actually perform it. That was an encore performance, by the way. So they were done with their set, and they were called back on stage to inspire the world once again. And it's just great. So, watch that, and then go on to Spotify or whatever, so they actually get a cut of the money. I should warn you, Minoru is not in the band anymore. So if you're watching new stuff, it won't sound like the old stuff. But you'll live. You'll live, I promise. Well, I don't promise, but it's pretty likely that listening to Cassiopeia's newer music will not kill you. Okay, and I'm going to cross that off the list so I don't talk about it anymore. even though I could just say the same thing over again, that is so great for hours and days and weeks, and I would waste away sitting here. Okay, what is next? Next, I just have written down as hurdles, and I think that hurdles are what is keeping me from doing the most work in life. What was I even doing here? Oh, land. Keeping me from the most work in life. Now, what do I mean when I say hurdles? It's not like track and field hurdles. I was awful when I tried that once, so I just stuck to shot put. And sprinting, which I wasn't good at, but there were not 3 strength-based activities in track and field in middle school. When I say hurdles, I mean like hassle hurdles, so things that aren't necessarily in the way, right? They're not stopping you, but they're just enough of a irritant that you don't want to do the thing that they're in front of. Right, so I have written down here this setup for oil painting is so mind-numbing that I never really feel like doing it. Oh. Oh. Hi. I am Owlex. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you. I appreciate the follow. And I will follow you back on Twitter. But not right now, because I am talking and playing a video game. But certainly, like, tonight, if I remember, and tomorrow, if I don't remember tonight. Okay, this is gonna look ugly, but it's fine. Yes, this is perfect. And I'm just gonna tear down this whole thing. Actually, I can have this deconstructed. Wait, no, I don't need that. Nope, 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 nope. Don't do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this in reverse. Okay. Here's the plan. Just go ahead and upgrade these for me. Go ahead, all of that can be upgraded. What was I talking about? Hurdles. Right. Oil painting setup. The setup and teardown for oil painting takes probably an hour total. So it takes a half hour to set up and a half hour to take down. Now this is exacerbated by the fact that you may need to dry paints, depending what you're doing. So oil paint typically comes out of the tube very wet. Kind of like mustard. If you don't shake up mustard before try and dispense it, you're a monster, an actual monster. And with oil painting, it kind of be the same thing. You get like a stream of oil that comes out of the tube before. I could have just set these all for destruction. That's fine. Before you get anything else. In fact, I can slate all this for destruction. Just freed up a bunch of space. Oh, I kind of wish I hadn't done that. Let me give them a chest to put all that stuff in. This isn't going to turn out well, is it? Nope, they're giving me all the stone bricks. I don't want any of this stuff. Put that in there. Also, we can put this away. You don't really need any of this coal, or this stone, or this iron. Good enough. And the teardown is worse by a lot. Setup is fun, right? Because you're like planning what you're gonna do, all that sorts of stuff, all the artsy stuff. And then when you're done, you've got to clean up oil paint off of everything, which I don't know if you figured this out yet, like if you're an adult who can reason, but oil paint is designed to stick onto stuff and leave a residue for all of eternity. And it does it well. And so when you put oil paint onto things you don't want to be destroyed forever and eternity, it sucks. It's the worst. The palette, you have to get thinner out, wipe the palette off so it's nice and clear again. Clear palettes are superior than just regular palettes or wood palettes. Wood palettes are nice if you use them once and they soak up the unnecessary oil and it's fine and good. But I'm here for reusability. I want to spend $8 on a thing and never replace it. The oil does not absorb. It does not wipe off easily. It's the worst of both. The worst of both. Just keep it to that. The brushes, cleaning paintbrushes, is my arch enemy. My actual arch enemy. Imagine that I am Superman. Cleaning paintbrushes is my Lex Luthor. You have to get like a tin of stuff. Right? It's like a bar of soap in a tin, and you get your paintbrushes all wet with water, which you wouldn't typically do, right? Oil paint, water don't mix, famously. You saw it in chemistry. You take the brush, you put it in the tin, you lather it up. By the way, you should have already soaked these in thinner to draw out the excess oil. You dry it off, however you feel is best. You lather up this brush, you dry it out. You do that a few times. It's got like this dusty residue. You bang that stuff off, and then it's clean again. That's not fun, especially when you're doing any sort of painting that takes more than like 4 or 5 paintbrushes. At that point, you're looking at an hour, a solid hour of cleaning paintbrushes. Who has that time? I've just like hosed off a palette. Now I'm washing paintbrushes like they're some sort of animal. I suppose for some of them they were some sort of animal, but now they're not. We've made them into a man-made thing. Why do they need shampoo? It's a lot of work, which sucks because painting is so fun. It is the most enjoyable thing I've ever done. That's not true. It is one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done. And the end result can often be very beautiful and a good way to relieve stress. But boy, I just hate setting that up and cleaning it up. Do I need another one of these? That's not fast enough at all. We'll set these all up for iron. I should have done this different. I'm aware. Don't yell at me. It's not your job to yell at me. It's my job. It's what I do every morning when I wake up. There we go. Check and make sure this is functioning as intended. You're making iron plate. Oh yeah, these can't be upgraded. I don't know how I can clear that, so it's just gonna stay like that for a while. Okay. These hurdles exist in everything. Anything you try to do will have hurdles. It's it just so happens that oil painting has a lot of them. This even has turtles. I have to go in, send a bunch of messages on Twitter and Discord to people to make sure anyone who wants to know that stuff is going on is going on. I have to make sure that I'm got all my scenes set up, that the little text explainer at the bottom is correct, that my framing's all right with the whole video being on the screen and not like weird. Sometimes you load up OBS and it's just weird. Why are some of these not putting on near? That can just be that. It also exists in like cooking. This is the reason I think a lot of people don't cook for themselves. Beyond thinking that they can't, which is absurd. If you can like stand on your own 2 feet, you can cook in a wheelchair if you really want to. Unless you have some sort of ailment where you have no control over the physical world, you can cook. It's not super difficult. And I sham being scared, right? It's frankly dangerous to be in a kitchen. Pans get hot, oil is scary and splatters. But you can make mac and cheese. I can make mac and cheese. I've been making mac and cheese since I was like 5 years old. Without permission. Like an insane person. So you can do it. But the setup, right? You need to have the equipment. And if you've not been given that equipment and you have to acquire it on your own, it can be intimidating, right? You got to go to a new aisle in the grocery store. You've got to maybe go to a different store entirely. And there's so many options. What do you get? Do you get Teflon pans? Do you get stainless steel pans? Do you know what the difference is? What other equipment do you need? Because now you have a pan, but you get home. Do you have a spoon, a spatula, tongs? Do you have cooking oil? This is even before we get to food or learning how to cook in general. I understand it's intimidating, but you can do it. And I believe in you. Which is saying something, because I hardly believe myself. Oh, my cat has decided he wants to play with a bag. Hold on a moment. Okay. I have moved my cat to my lap. If we are blessed, we might get to hear the cat speak into the microphone. If we are not blessed, he shall sit here and purr and shed fur all over me. Bailey, you want to talk? No, he does not want to talk. He wants to leave. Okay, you want to go? Oh, you want to eat my notebook. Get out of here. I don't know what this cat's deal is. His mental acuity is less than that of a twig. Maybe a stick bug. He might just be smarter than a stick bug. Okay, back on track. Right, so that there's hurdles to even start cooking, and then once you want to do it, it's like, man, I want to cook pork today. What's that mean? Do I have pork in the fridge? No. Do I have pork in the freezer? Sure. I have to pull the pork out hours in advance, sometimes a day in advance, depending on how much you have frozen together, to make sure it defrosts in time, that it thaws. In time for you to be able to cook it. Right? You can't just cook frozen meat because it will be overdone on the outside and unsafe to eat on the inside. So, once you've prepared all the stuff, right? You've got it all prepared. You then have to eat the food, which is kind of the whole point of the deal, right? You've cooked all this food, now you want to eat it. You eat it, you're feeling good, you're like, damn, that was some tasty ass food. What do you do now? Now you gotta clean up. Cleaning up is just one of those parts of cooking that no one likes. I wonder if this will work. My guess is no. I'm actually gonna stop that because it's freaking me out. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to siphon off all of the materials that I don't need. What do I need for that? I need a stack filter inserter. Let's get 2 of them. And I'll continue on to the next thing. Hurdles are a big problem. Something I've not yet solved. And I'm actively looking for solutions. So if you have solutions, let me know. Probably just being better prepared. Okay. Next up. H is for horse. I have received very good news as of late. Which means that I was on my phone while I was out at dinner with my family. And I looked down at my YouTube Studio app, and I saw something incredible. I have a YouTube short. According to other people, the validation of other human beings, which is something I don't usually seek, but which has happened in this case. I have a YouTube short which has amassed 6.1 thousand views. Hang on. I didn't bring up... There we go. Very cool. It has there's a point to this. I'm not boasting. I am boasting. I don't mean to. There's a point to what I'm getting at. Oh hell. Move this closer. Blacklist. Iron. Okay. It has an average percent viewed of 114%, which is incredible. That means that not only are the people who watch it watching all of it, it means that for at least some of those people, 14%. If my math is right, it's like 14% more people. Never mind, I'm not doing the math on that. It's late. Some people are watching it more than once, so that it's replaying is how that gets tracked. That is very impressive. It is uncommon. And I'm very proud that it's happening. Well, I don't want to say proud. I am inspired by this revelation. Now, that's not everything. There is a note here that shows you how many people have subscribed while watching a YouTube short of yours. On which shorts, so I can see this. So if you've ever seen a short of mine, and you click the subscribe button while you're watching it, I have that metric. And this one has 9. Now, keep in mind, I had 7 YouTube subscribers as of this morning. Having 9 now, or having now 16, which, hey, we made it over 10. Very cool. I will do something for them because I think it's hilarious. You should celebrate every like increase in magnitude of this whole thing. Like every increase in order of magnitude of the thing that you're doing. I think that's fun. But having 10 as the first increase in magnitude is hilarious because it's not that many people. And I'll get to why that actually isn't true. It is a lot of people. But anyway, 9 people subscribed watching it. I wonder if I have data on who. No. Nope, it just shows me it's a lot. It has reached 11.8K, so nearly 12,000 people. 412 unique people have seen it. I don't think that's right. Unless people are watching this over and over and over again, in which case, thank you. I don't know why you want to see this horse joke other than that. We'll get to it being a horse joke as well. It has 50% viewed, which is not the highest, but who cares? We're fine. The search terms are strange. Now, here's what's really kind of indicative of this being an interesting phenomenon. Has 89% likes, which is, again, uncommon and good. It has... here somewhere. Oh, it won't actually show me the number of likes right now. It is strange. Anyway, I checked earlier. When I checked earlier, at like 4,000 views, at 113 likes, which is very cool. I was impressed. The audience obviously comes from all over. 100% male. That is interesting. Kind of makes sense given the nature of the joke. Very, I don't want to say mindless humor, because it, you know, it is a funny joke, if you think about it, sort of, but also, it's a horse joke, right? Let's talk about this horse joke. This is a part in a recent, ESO VOD, where I'm looking for the button to, and I did this silently. I did not say I was looking for a button. I was silently to myself looking for the button on my keyboard to summon the mount for the character. And my mount in the game is a dog. But I thought to myself, when they mapped the button for this feature, they were probably thinking that most people would have a horse. So instead of clicking any button or looking, I just pressed the H button. And then the mount showed up and I said, wow, you know, I was looking for the button to find my horse. So I just clicked H. But the title is really what gets me, which is H is for horse, and then in parentheses, dog. Because my mount is a dog. I am tickled that a horse joke can do so well. Now, what does this actually mean? I've been doing a lot of experiments with figuring out what's going to be good and bad stuff to put on shorts, because I think shorts is kind of the main thing YouTube's got going on at the moment. Regular videos, and we'll get to that, is much more difficult to draw an audience than shorts, because shorts are so, obviously they're short. You bring in a lot of people, you filter out a lot of people. It makes me think I should probably put these on TikTok, but It's just another thing to manage, and I don't really care that much. Oh, my cat has returned from the bedroom to attack my wrists and eat my elbows. Oh, ow! Get it out. I don't know what's gotten into him. Anyway, so this is like a 20-second video. Not even 20, no, this is like 8 seconds doing this dumb horse joke. Most of my shorts are like 20 seconds, which I think really hurts. Going over like 10 seconds really hurts the short if you're just telling jokes. I think it having a compelling title is helping it. I think it having the word horse in the title and the tags is helping it. Now, this brings up another something, which is that I have two options when I make a short on YouTube. The first and easiest is to... What is going on here? Why is this not doing the thing? Oh, it's because I'm dumb. Okay, the first and easiest thing to do is to clip the short on Twitch from the VOD, and it will directly edit it for you and upload it to YouTube. Super simple, very, very minimal work. That's what H is for horse, parentheses dog, is. It is exactly that process. Option number 2, and what I need for more complex things, is to actually offboard that VOD from Twitch, upload it into Premiere, edit it into a full minute or whatever I want it to be, do all of the graphics around that, and then put it up on YouTube. That can take up, I think the first one I did took like 3 hours because I was learning everything. I did one today in a half hour, so it's way more labor intensive than anything else previously. Let me figure out really quick. I'm going to take a look. What is it going to cost to automate this? That circuit heat shielding. Let's try that. Let's try and get that going. Okay. Man, what was I saying? Okay, so the second option is more work, but leads to a higher quality video with more complex jokes. So I did one today. And actually... Oh, it's not finished at that. That's why I stopped. Set this back up. Also, I'm aware this is not the most efficient way. I just don't care. I just want to make these as fast as possible. So this is the best way to do it. These produce stone tablets really quickly. I'm going to be completely honest. It is surprising to me that the higher quality videos, and I'm going to put the newest short called That Won't Work into this category, do not perform better. They just don't. Low quality horse nonsense does much, much better than higher quality edited content. Now this could be for a variety of reasons, and I actually think I've got probably the most important reason. I think maybe I'm overthinking it, or that my content just won't. But it's fine. I'm going to explain to you the bit, because I think it's hilarious. I think it's fucking hilarious, this bit. Which is that in the last Plague Tale stream, which, on a small tangent, there was supposed to be another one today, but I went out to dinner, came back here, edited some stuff, and then I went back to go hang out and play a game, and now I have to go back to house sit. So there's not the time, and I don't feel like it. We'll get back to that on Wednesday. You'll be fine. I want to play it too. There's a moment in the last Plague Tale stream where the main character, Amicia, and side character, pseudo main character in this game, Lucas, need to create tar in a shipyard that they can light on fire that will stay on fire for a while. So basically throwable torches to ward off rats, right? That's the kind of main core gameplay component, is that there's rats and you need them to not be harshing your steeds, right? Oh, my cat wants to play some more. He is really attacking me. He's jumping from my hand like it's some sort of bird. But it's not. My hands are not birds, I promise. And so in this loop, they give you a section where you have no clue what's going on. You're kind of stuck between a fiery pit of tar and rats. And Lucas comes up with the idea that you might be able to craft some sort of ammunition to throw that will create new pools of tar that you can light on fire to ward off the rats, right? The way they set this up is he throws something to you. So he says, here, catch this. He throws something to you, you craft the tar, and you're supposed to put it in a jar and throw it. Now you have the option to not do that, and instead take the ball of tar and just throw that on its own without the jar on the ground. That mechanic is meant so that you could throw tar on fire that's already lit to make it brighter. It's part of the stealth mechanic for the game. Nowhere does it explain this. Not one place does it explain this. So I sat there for a good 10-15 minutes trying to figure this out. And every time you use up all your resources for this, they have to give you more so that you don't deadlock the game. And the line for that is so grating. It just says, it's just Lucas saying, oh, that won't work. Try again. And then he throws more stuff to you. So my cat, he just attacked a box. Like a shipping box from Amazon. He's just run into it full speed, slid it across the floor, and somehow managed to land inside of it. And now he's staring at me like I should be proud. And I am. I love you too, buddy. I just thought that line was very funny, and the fact that he keeps saying it, and that I get more and more aggravated by the fact that the gameplay loop is just so unexplained. It's just not explained in the slightest. I thought it was funny. That video has 2 likes and 3 dislikes, so what do I know? Okay. Let's move on from H's for horse. We've talked about that. It's done. it's still getting views, and maybe if it breaks 10,000, I will talk about it again. But that would be stressful. I should point out, having a lot of views on something is stressful. Because it just means more people are seeing something I've made. That is a little bit concerning. Because things with a wide audience get a lot more. They get a lot more hate, which I'm not super concerned about, but they also get just a lot more responses, which I don't know if I can really keep up. It just invites a lot of attention, and not all attention is good attention. So, okay, next, I already talked about it a little bit. We're up above 10 subscribers. We are at, let's take a look. 16 subscribers. Very cool. I've done a few YouTube channels in the past. When I was a child, like an actual child. And it was bad, and I was bored of doing what I was doing, so I just gave up. This is surprisingly less boring than when I was a child, and I think that's just because I've done way harder stuff. Like, my threshold for difficulty tolerance is kind of through the roof now, so things that most people would think are difficult are just not anymore. That also sounds like I'm bragging, which I kind of am. Because I'm, pleased with myself for doing as well as I have. So what does this subscriber number mean? Because I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. More subscribers does not mean more views on regular YouTube videos. That came out a little gargled, but I don't care. So I post all of the VODs, most of the VODs. I know they're a little bit behind on YouTube. And most of them get no views, some of them with interesting titles like I have no voice, but I must Factorio in space dash Factorio get 3 views. I have my first video on here actually got quite a few the first day posted. This is a Rise to Ruins video called Clearing the Corruption. I think that's kind of a compelling title for a game that doesn't get much press, so people took a look. The second one, Building Out Districts, has 2 views. Right, so the channel itself is kind of low attended. Right, there's one other video here that has 12 views called What Is So Upsetting. I like that video. A few of them have more compelling titles like News and Warehouse in Space. And those are really all the standouts. No one has gone to the trouble of watching all of the Plague Tale videos in order. Right? So, it's kind of whatever. So it's interesting, and I've actually run a test, and I've talked to some people, and I know that notifications don't get pushed out to subscribers consistently. It's only every once in a while that you'll actually get one, which is good, because you don't want to get spammed if you're subscribed to like 100 people that all regularly put out content. But the number of notifications you'll get is actually way, way, way lower than what is actually being produced. And that depends on a bunch of factors. So, it is a cool milestone, but I don't think it means much. And also, subscribers for shorts are not, they're the same, they're counted in the same number, but they're not the same viewers as subscribers for the regular channel. So before I did any shorts, I had like maybe 1, 2 subscribers on the actual YouTube channel that do not consistently watch the videos, right? Shorts has netted me 14. Which just means I think people are here for the short form stuff and not so much for the long form. Which eventually I will want people to watch long form stuff, but this is frankly low effort kind of dog shit content. It's a lot of just VODs, me playing a video game and not talking so much, and rambling, not playing the game at all. Because multitasking is just so difficult. Okay, my cat is enraged. What's next? Let's do heat shielding next. I don't want to do that. There needs to be a gap of 2, right? 1, 2. Sure, that's fine. Need to make some of these. I'll have to grab some bricks, that's fine. Okay, that is talking about subscribers. Let's go on to the next one, which is, I've just written down what next. Okay, I see what this is talking about. So now I've seen that things that I can do can be moderately successful. What is next after that? That was kind of the goal of this first phase here, is do something a little bit weird, not traditional. Obviously playing games, very traditional, but playing games that really no one's talked about or heard about that I think are really stellar is part of it. Part of it's the fact that I am currently a talking, blinking bowl of soup, which doesn't make so much sense. And the weird miscellaneous things that go on here. So obviously, Mr. Rock was a character, no longer a character. Might make a return at some point, but the joke is played out. We all get it. It's a rock. It's possessed. Who really cares? The weird kind of musical, I don't want to say music videos because it's not, the weird musical kind of horror element stuff. A thing that I've done, mostly played out. I have a project I'm working on that I don't want to talk about, but I have the script written for it. I have hang on, I've got to think about something for a second. Sure, that's fine. Let's do this traditional. And okay. What the hell was I saying? Okay, so this new thing, I've already gotten the script done. I've gotten some of the VO done. And it is coming together. I'm mostly good with the writing. Obviously VO needs a lot of work for me. I've got a very kind of slushy voice. I don't know if I've just got a bigger tongue than most people, but the words, they don't kind of fall out of my mouth correctly all the time, which does not pair well with wit, because you just kind of sound like a gargled mess. So the VO is gonna need some work. But that's fine. I'm willing to put the work in. I think it's really, really good what I've gotten so far. My concern is... My concern is this. If I produce something that's very good, with as limited an audience as I currently have, will that waste potential of the video that I'm trying to produce? Now, what do I mean when I say that? What I mean is, if it's a good video, and if I had an audience that's big enough, it could reach a certain high threshold of engagement, interaction, whatever, eyes on the thing that I'm proud of. And with a smaller audience, the odds of a lot of people seeing it, not even a lot of people, the amount of people proportional to the ludicrous amount of effort it's going to take me to complete this project, will that be low enough that it doesn't make sense for me to do this right now? I am going to do it. I think it's really good, this idea that I've come up with. I think it's really good what I've done so far. But if I do all of that with no return, it seems like a waste. And it seems like if I can spin some kind of moral stuff on it, right? Or dress it up morally. Because I know it's not very cool to be like, oh man, I hope this does well with your art. But hang on. Sorry, I gotta think for a second about how I'm gonna route this. And there we go. And there we go. Cool. Could I make something that is better in the future that will live up to my vision of what I want this to be? And I think that might be worth it. In fact, I think right now I'm talking myself into it. Which is that really what I need to do this video is going to be labor intensive. I basically need to create a background for myself in animation. At least in After Effects. The stuff I've done in After Effects is baby stuff, right? It's like I cut out some eyes and made them blink, which is it's not. I thought it was difficult. Ask Syriac, and he's probably like, yeah, that's an actual millisecond for me. So I don't know. Maybe my issue is comparing myself to other people like that. Hang on, some more thinking. Thought is going into this. No, that shit was dumb. Alright, whatever, it'll be fine. We're starting to get some spaghetti in here. It's okay, it's not my job, so don't care. Well, it's not my job, but yet if I keep pulling off views like this, not like this, I don't even know if there's anyone watching. I don't care. If the YouTube stuff gets views like that, it could be my job. Probably not. I don't even know if that would be a good thing. What am I doing? I should mix the stuff right here. There we go. No need sulfur. Oh, my cat has gotten into more trouble. It's fine. He's an adult. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. Something about Syriac. Man, his stuff is so good. I've been watching his Ratchet Block Party music video. It's so good. How is this man so talented? The fact that he took a collection of music videos from people who didn't give him any instruction. They were just like, go for it, man. And he cut it together into a music video for a song that they had not, like, they didn't have a live recording of it. It's so impressive. I mean, we've been watching his stuff since back in the day. Right, since we were kids. And he's still just out here killing it? Crazy, dude. Crazy. That man would rule the planet if he were given the chance. And the planet would be strange. Just a little weird. This planet he's got cooking. What the hell am I doing? Oh, like... Definitely a place for a blueprint. But I am bullheaded, so... Who cares? I will trudge on. Anyway, what is next on the docket here? We're down to one thing, and then I might ramble on for a bit more. Which is... Drum roll. I don't actually have a drum roll. What do I have? I've got, Oh, I just heard a double toilet. That was cool. Hope you only heard one. There's a new video out. It is called The Odd Case of Trevor Mistopoulos. And I will explain a little bit about where that came from and what that means. Because it is a bit more in depth than some people have read into. Now, I wrote a short story with the intention of putting it on the internet years ago, like 8 years ago now. Was it 8? No, it couldn't have been 8. It had probably only 4 or 5. It's already 2024. That's a lot to take in. Many years ago, many years ago, I put together this short story that I thought was pretty neat. Now, I have a very, very minor background in writing SCPs. They're under a pseudonym, so you probably will never read it. I'm also in the process of rewriting it, which is taking forever. It's getting critique on the forums now is quite a bit harder than it was 3 or 4 years ago. So I'd written this SCP, and I came up with an idea that didn't quite fit then, but I've got ideas now for what could improve it. About what is going on here? 5K. Nothing here. Or we're just not making enough. Okay, let's increase our refinery. Oh. I didn't know this was a thing that was happening, so it's good that I caught it. What was I saying? Oh, yep. So I've written this short story. It was originally supposed to be an SCP. I didn't quite figure out how to make it an SCP then, but I've got a good idea for it now. And it is about. It does not say this explicitly in the short story. If you haven't heard it, I guess go listen to it. It is about a person who medical professionals believe is schizophrenic, which I suppose a bit about my background. There are a few people close to me, trying to not say too much, with schizophrenia. It's not super important who or what or why. Anyway, I have found the concept of this interesting because it proves to an extent that our perception of the world is not always what is true. So you can look at a thing and it might not be true. Kind of a basic concept, if I'm being completely honest with myself in the class. Regardless, I think it's interesting. Who cares what anyone else thinks about it? Right. Hang on. Ooh, this is not a good spot for this. It'll be fine though. Get around it like that. Here, and then here, and then here. Oh. Okay. So the story is above everything, above all of the writing, and which I will admit is not fantastic writing or anything. It's just kind of what it is a story about a young kid with schizophrenia, or not with schizophrenia, who medical professionals believe to have schizophrenia, who can manifest things that he draws anywhere. So basically, if he draws something in a notepad, whatever, will create that thing. And so when he draws, dark, scary monsters or whatever, they appear in real life to other people. And he has been given this ability to kind of, not given, he has this ability to kind of afflict other people with these monsters that he's created, which I think is a really cool concept. Anyway, are we getting enough of this now? Not really. Turning it all into sulfuric acid. Okay, let's take this up to where we need to go. So the story's kind of like that. It's never really said whether or not that ability is a real thing in the story that I wrote, but it is certainly my headcanon for the whole thing. And so I had originally posted this video on another channel, which you'll never find. Good luck. I suppose I shouldn't issue a challenge. People take that seriously. And that had only gotten like 3 views or whatever, so I thought, you know what? Let's just just make something with it, you know, see if we can do something. And so I put that out. And I hope people enjoy it. I have no expectations. If anything, I'd say I have low expectations. Because it did not do well the first time. But I also kind of just don't really care. I'm not super... I don't really kind of need this to succeed, so... If the whole thing crashes and burns, I'm not going to be that upset. I much prefer putting a ton of energy into my actual job. Because I find it the most fulfilling out of anything I do. Which is good. You should, for those of you looking for jobs or hoping to get into like the professional job market for anything, you should hope that your job is fulfilling, that you enjoy it, that when you're done with a day of work, you feel proud of what you've done. And there's really nothing more than that. If you can pull that off, you've kind of made it. Good job. Not everyone can say that they don't hate themselves when they come home from work. What's this doing? Why does it not have any cargo? And what happened to the iron? Where did that go? Iron, where are we at with iron? Not enough. I apologize. Ooh, this handled the thing. I don't have any ammo for it though. I don't really feel like putting that stuff together, so who cares? Okay. I'm noticing something here. Do you see it? Oh, no, I guess I'm wrong. There's not... We're kind of losing stuff down here, and it's just because this can't force iron through all the way. You really need stuff to run in parallel to be able to get the most efficient output here. Alright, not super important. I think I'm going to call it here. I have a drive back to the house I'm sitting, so... Oh, the house that I'm house sitting. Ugh. It's been like, what, an hour? Yeah, I'll call it here. Alright, thank you for hanging out.